All right, back again, and we will resume from previous tutorial uh, where we needed to reduce the speed of the enemy. So reducing the speed of enemy is pretty simple. First, we will head over to our enemy. This is our enemy game object, and here we will look for NavMesh Agent component that we attached, and their previous speed was 3.5. So we reduce it to 1 or 1.2, for example. Let's set this as a speed, and now if we press play, our speed will be much less again. You can customize it to your own needs. So this is the enemy, and as you can see, it was slow, and when the bullet touched, it killed himself. It got deleted. So this fixes a bit of things. So second thing that was the issue was that the firing and the enemy were automatically being turned on as there were no globals introduced. What this means is the game does not track yet when game starts or ends. So to address this issue, what we need to do is simply make a singleton globals. I will write it here. Singleton globals. Why singleton and why global? Which will make use of static. That will be equally accessible, easily accessible across full project length. So right now, when you make a game object, they come with a they come by. So these game objects, if you see, as you can see, they are mono behavior. What does it mean? That they can ride on a game object, and they can be placed on a game object, and since they are a mono behavior, but their life only depends since they are not static. What this means is they will be deleted when they are pressed, when they are not used, that is scene changes or something like this, then they will be deleted and they won't be accessible anymore. To solve this, what we need to do is simply go to script. We will create an empty script. Inside the script we will make an empty C# script, and here we will type tutorial singleton globals. Again, this is a bit long name, and but again, this is a bit long name, and you can set it to your needs. So this is our class. Again, it's just a simple empty C# script. To make it a, let's comment it here. We will make it global static. We will make it global singleton. Global means it will have access everywhere of this project. So to solve this issue, where we will head, we will simply mark this class as a static. This is how you make a singleton global. Mark this class as static. Later we can simply do this public static game state, public static int game state is equal to 0. What this means is 0, means game has not yet started. 1 means game has started. And then we can make more static variables according to our need. Public static, let us say level, let's by default make it to 0, as this can be used to store game progress as well. And we can also use public static and audio state. This can be used to adjust global speed values, sound values. So leave it here. And now to access this, first thing we gotta do is right now when you see these enemies, they start to move right away. So to address this, that is the agent movement and this tutorial player animation, this is the agent movement script, and what it does is that by default, if this was the singleton class that we just made, if dot game state is equal to 0, that is game hasn't started yet, then don't move the enemy. So this was the game state, by default it was 0. So what it will do is, if the game state is 0, it won't move the game state. And for bullet movement or bullet spawner, what we were doing was we press this right away, which was invoke repeating. So instead of doing this, that is the bullet will start right away, we will what we can do is make use of a, so either there are a couple of things that we can do. I will write it here. There are a couple of things we can do to make game object start to fire only when game is pressed, when game start button is pressed. First approach would in first approach we will turn this game object on in accordance with what do you call in accordance with the buttons being pressed. So we can do this, or the second thing in second thing requires bit of computation, bit of if and else here. What this means is that it's a bit of unstandard, but here inside update we will check for state change of Singleton Global and start things from there. Again, so the second method that we have discussed is non-standard. That is again, that is a bit of a hacky method and not a standard. And standard would be to make a game object, and that is to standard, that is first one is better method, where we give reference of game object and we turn it on from there, right? So what we will do is head back to our component where tab to start click was here, and here we reference like this public game object gun, and here we inside here return gun dot set active as true. So what this means is again there are tons of methods where you can try to find the game object in the scene as well, but that would require more computation than are non-standard. So what we will do is simply look for this component tutorial player movement and this one, and this was the gun game object, and here we put the component here we put the component which has bullet spawner component on it. Bullet spawner, this is the component. So what we will do is by default it's by default this bullet spawner component is turned on like this. We can turn it off, and now when we press so it's like this, and when we press tab to run, as you can see it will be like this. So right now the bullet speed I think is less than the character speed. This is the reason. So when we go to bullet, increase the speed of bullet like this, and now when we press play, this is how it should be. So to show you again, if right now the gun is not visible, but we want the gun to be visible. We want the gun mesh to be visible all the time, but script only runs when the button is pressed. So instead of this gun.set active.true, what we can do is get component, and inside it was named bullet spawner, and here we can enable to turn true like this, and we can then run the script of bullet spawner, so the gun would remain visible all the time. This to be visible and this bullet spawner to be invisible. And now when we press like this, as you can see, nothing happens, but when we press tab to run as active, the plate starts to come towards the character and gun starts to shoot. So this is the standard method. And other method was that inside update we do checks for a state change. Here I will write it again, check for state change here and update, which is a bit costly on computational side and on standard, as I told many times. So we will pause the video here, and this concludes. In the next tutorial we will look for other things such as audio being played, that how to play the audio when the game starts, and other similar things. Thank you.